A 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court headed by the Chief Justice determined that 7 respondents in the petitions, including former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa, Mahinda Rajapaksa, Basil Rajapaksa, former Secretary to the President P.B. Jayasundara and former Governor of the Central Bank Ajit Niwad Cabral, had violated the fundamental rights of the general public by mismanaging the economy between 2019 and 2022. The judgment states that the fundamental rights guaranteed to the general public were violated by these 7 respondents. According to the Supreme Court, the government led by Gotabaya Rajapaksa had missed several opportunities to prevent the economy from falling into crisis. Among these missed opportunities is the failure to secure the final tranche in the $1.5 billion extended fund facility offered by the IMF in 2016. Sri Lanka was to secure the final tranche of $160 million during April in 2020. The Supreme Court states that the IMF was satisfied with the progress made by Sri Lanka to release the funds. In October 2019, 1 month before Gotabaya Rajapaksa came into power, the then Minister of Finance and the Governor of the Central Bank at the time had written to the IMF informing them that the government of Sri Lanka is willing to continue to work with them. However, the government of Gotabaya Rajapaksa had not taken any steps to secure this tranche even by December 2019. The judgment states that in the interim, the government of Gotabaya Rajapaksa had made massive changes to taxation without holding discussions or obtaining advice from the IMF. The government had opted to go ahead with the tax cuts against a backdrop where staff representatives of the IMF were due to conduct a review regarding the release of the funds under the facility. The judgment states that on the 8th of April 2020, Secretary to the President at the time, Dr. P.B. Jayasundara, had written to the Managing Director of the IMF requesting for the tranche of the IMF facility to be provided as an emergency facility. In the letter, he had said that the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic had affected the progress of the economy. Dr. P.B. Jayasundara had also informed the Managing Director of the IMF that as a result, the country is facing a serious balance of payments crisis. In the letter, Dr. Jayasundara had also noted that Sri Lanka had sought assistance from Japan, China, the World Bank, the Asian Development Bank and several other international partners. The head of the IMF for the Asia-Pacific region had responded to the letter sent by Dr. P.B. Jayasundara. He had said that the IMF is willing to further support Sri Lanka but needs further time to consider the request submitted. The IMF had informed Dr. Jayasundara about the need to discuss the matter with other multilateral institutions. The judgment of the Supreme Court states that the Auditor General did not find any other documents regarding any further steps that had been taken by Sri Lanka to secure these funds. The Supreme Court had concluded that the decision reached not to secure these funds was illogical and arbitrary. Who decided not to secure the $160 million from the IMF? How did they reach that decision? More details revealed by the Supreme Court determination will be revealed tomorrow.
The People's Tomorrow movement says that the citizenship of everyone who is responsible for the bankruptcy of the country should be terminated.
ආර්ථික ඝාතකයින්ගේ තීන්දුව නිසා කඩා වැටිච්ච ආර්ථිකය තුල වන්දි ගෙව්වේ කවුද?
Who ultimately paid the price for the decision made by the economic hitmen who led the collapse of this country's economy? What is the price we are paying? Hospitals are running out of medicines and the people are paying for it with their lives. What is the value of a life? The hotelier, small businessmen, people who obtain financial facilities for their vehicles for a small business are paying the price for the decision taken by the economic hitmen. What compensation will be provided to them? The country's parliament must engage in discussions until the citizenship of these individuals are terminated. Every single cent that they earned must be used to pay compensation. That's what we call for via the court ruling.
බෙදා දෙන්න ඕන. ඒව තමයි මේ නඩු තීන්දුව හරහා අපිට සමාජය තුල නගන්න තියෙන හඬ.
මේ රට බංකොලොත් කිරීමේ ප්‍රතිඵලයක් හැටියට
Everyone who had to close their businesses, lost their income and jobs as a result of the bankruptcy of the country has become a victim of this situation. All the 23 million people of the country are being compromised economically by these decisions. They made this country bankrupt to the point that we cannot even afford to buy our children books or any stationery. They do not present any statistics in this country. How many lives did we lose owing to the medicine shortage and by deeming some surgeries non-essential in the recent past? The people who were responsible for this didn't feel accountable for the lives that were lost. Therefore, it is imperative that the lives, families, financial statuses and businesses that were affected by these decisions be rectified.
ආර්ථික ඝාතකයන්ගෙන් පියව ගන්න වැඩපිළිවෙලක් හදන්න අවශ්‍යයි.